How to become a saint. Our everyday language makes us think that a little saint is someone that is perfect in every way, who has a perfect behavior every day and who never disobeys, and we're wrong. This kind of behavior can be sometimes the result of being saint, but it can also be the result of a lot of pride. They were no one more perfect than Pharisees as seen from the outside, but they lacked the roots that make sainthood possible. To understand how to become a saint, we have to understand what is being saint in the eyes of God, and so understand what he loved when on earth and what he hated. What he loved the most was humility and repentance, and what he hated the most was the arrogance from people who were perfect, as we saw with Pharisees that he cursed many times. So we could compare sainthood to a land. Our soul is like a land that needs to be prepared so that the Lord can come, and this land, humus, is humility in heart that is humble, is not an heart that received salvation. It's an heart who is prepared to receive the good seed that will grow. Humility can be seen in the baptism of John the Baptist, with people coming humbly to recognize that they were sinners. Sometimes we acquire it by being sinner, but knowing that we are and that we don't deserve salvation, just like the good thief who is humble and who directly went to heaven. But humility alone is not enough. It is the ultimate preparation, the greatest that the Old Testament gives us. In this land has to grow a tree that summarizes everything, the law, the prophets, everything. And this tree is defined by Jesus as the charity. He said it. End quote. What is the most important commandment? End quote. There are two. End quote. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all our strength. End quote. And the second is very similar. End quote. Love your neighbor as yourself. End quote. The first of all commandments is, end quote, love your God. End quote. End quote. Why is the second one similar but only comes after? Well, it's because, if one loves God, then they'll be able to love its neighbors as they are. If one love its neighbor without God, it becomes humanism, and as beautiful as it is, it's not what salvation is. Moreover, if one loves God without loving its neighbor, it's hypocrisy, because God lives only for its neighbors. So if this tree takes roots on a good land, it'll be a magnificent one, and we'll be able to say that it's a Christian on his way to sainthood. What roles do have virtues then? Like for example being chaste, careful, or a good listener, to have a good behavior, to honor our parents. In short, the 10 commandments, they are the fruits of charity. If one loves God and its neighbor, they won't insult their parents, they will obviously take care of them, just like fasting, if done with humility and charity, will have a sense. But if it is done with pride, one will show themselves with a sad face so that people can see how pious they are, and this is useless since they'll have their reward on earth. And I'd even say that they'd be on their way to perdition. So there is rooted the tree of sainthood, on a good land, the tree of charity and its fruits. But I'd like to add something that is pretty surprising and mysterious: to become a saint and to enter immediately the kingdom of heaven after death. If we have these 3 things, it's certain that it will be fast, but something more is needed because of what God is. Because God is not just someone. He's an infinitely humble being. Each person of the Trinity putting the other above, and he puts us forward, us little creatures, above him, giving us all his powers. In front of such a God, we, with our 3 little qualities, are ridiculous. We couldn't stand such purity from the Most High. So, another quality is required, but that is beyond our control, that God will give us in our time, when he wants it. That's the end quote. Kenosis. End quote. In Greek, kenosis doesn't have a translation because it only means, end quote, to have a broken heart. End quote. To the point that we put ourselves below those who are lesser than us. We put them above us. We think of us as being nothing. The one who suffered, who had a moment of despair, knows what it is and acquired it. That's why Jesus himself, all pure as he was, wanted to live this kenosis at the cross. A moment of despair, end quote. My God, why have you forsaken me, end quote. That's when, at this very instant, that he became perfect. That he was able, with his human intelligence, to enter the beatific vision. Can we ask God for this kenosis? I'd say that it'd be better to ask it when our life is accomplished and we don't have any more familial duty, or right now if you're a monk for example. We need to ask the Virgin Mary to keep us away from these moments of despair when in charge of a family, because our duty is to love our neighbors. Should we ask it in this world or the other? I'd say in this world. It is possible to do it in the other, it's the purgatory. But it's longer and harder because since we saw Jesus, we are in such a joy that we need a lot of time to reach our own despair.